Hi, I'm Willie and this is the Breslin, and today I want to talk to you about my favorite plant for modern and minimal spaces, and that plant would be the Calathea Network. Oh, that's a mouthful. And before I get started with telling you about why this plant is amazing, I just want to go over a few preliminary things about the care and maintenance. This plant is impressive, it's exotic, and it's also inexpensive, which is a combo you're not likely to find often. It's also great for beginners because it seems like once it gets established, it just keeps growing. And also the entry point of investment is low enough that if it dies, you're going to recover, at least partially. This plant loves indirect light, so you can place it in a variety of settings in your home. It also tolerates many levels of household humidity from 50% to 80%, so it can work in a lot of environments and throughout the seasons if you're running the heat or the air conditioner. It likes soil that remains partially moist and doesn't completely dry out, so if you keep an eye on that, you should be fine. I fertilize mine every few weeks in the spring and summer, and then I kind of just let it be during the fall and winter, and it seems that it has grown a lot. It also grows evenly and symmetrically, keeping its aesthetic value intact, which I always like with plants. I hate things that grow out weird, uneven, and look ugly for 2 years while you're waiting for something to look nice. Occasionally, if you're really lucky, these will produce flowers, which sounds a lot more impressive than it actually is. They're kind of hidden underneath with the new growth, but like anything magical, it doesn't matter if you can see it, you'll know it's there. But I will include a photo of my plant's flowers just for bragging rights. I'll take any lucky breaks I can get. So with all that being said, let's talk a little bit more about the aesthetic aspects. I'm like a cat. So first things first, this plant is called a network Calathea, a Calathea Musaica, or I've also heard it referred to as a pixel plant. And that is the first reason why I think this is the perfect accoutrement for a modern space, because if you look at the leaves, they actually look like they're pixels. And what says futurism more than a plant that is mirroring digital technology, but in actuality, digital technology is mirroring this plant. Another reason that I like it in this context is because this plant truly is a stunner as a floor plant. It has a very horizontal presence, has a lot of lush foliage on the top, and since most of the time furniture choices seem to be lower, this is perfect because it mirrors that aesthetic and it doesn't compete with it. I often toy with the idea of getting plants with more verticality, but yeah, that's not really gonna happen because most of my furniture is extremely low, and truthfully, I hope it gets lower. Another thing about a modern space is the idea and concept, why do I forget my words all the time when I'm doing this, of mindfulness. And this plant really reminds me to be more mindful. And how it does that is it changes form. Calatheas are often called prayer plants, and in the evening, this plant's leaves shoot straight up and give you this awesome suspended reality and shows you that nature just has it all figured out. And I want more of that energy in my house and in my life. It also has this really intense emerald green intermixed with the more chartreuse tones. I just think that looks so good with black and gray furniture, and I've completely resigned and embraced that I'm living in a millennial gray environment. Another thing that is a very modern concern is having literally no time to do anything, and this plant is perfect for someone with a busy lifestyle. Once it gets established, it kind of just takes care of itself and keeps on growing. Your biggest concern is adding a light fertilizer in the spring, and then it just kind of keeps filling in around the edges and becoming more lush. Now, I'm sure anyone that is watching and doesn't have one of these plants is noticing how the tips of the leaves are a little bit brown and truthfully a little bit crunchy. Well, that can be caused by a variety of things, but what I think is happening with my plant is that I am not watering it with exclusively distilled water, but I'm using tap water. This doesn't bother me. I think it gives a more organic and lived-in feel, but if it bothers you, from the get-go, only water with distilled water. Thank you for humoring me and letting me talk so passionately about this plant, but I'm just so in love with it. I'm obsessed with dystopian futures and human kindness, and I think that this really shares that bill perfectly. I could picture this plant existing in so many Ridley Scott movies, and you just know Rachel and Deckard would have this in their cute little modern apartment nestled perfectly in dystopian Los Angeles. When I up-potted it a few weeks ago in my repotting video, I was so excited to see more robust roots as well as rhizomes, which shows me that it is really living its best life. These are so affordable. If you look around, you can find them at a lot of big box stores, most of which are coming from Costa Farms, and they acclimate easily, look great right out of the gate, and are really fun plants to watch mature and grow. Well, I have like 50 plants to water, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is a very new channel, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to hang out on the regular, please hit that subscribe button as well. I know that I do with you. Take care of yourself, relish in the summertime sadness, and I'm gonna talk to you very soon. Okay, bye.